part 4 in beginning guitar lessons. Now we're going to look at the next chord. We're going to actually go up the chords in what's known as the circle of fifths. So we started with C. Now we're going to go to G. Okay, G is the next chord because it's the distance of a fifth. C, D, E, F, G. And it introduces the first sharp. Okay? So first let's do the G scale. So we start at G, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Okay. Let's look at a G chord. The traditional way, the first way anybody generally learns a G chord is like this. I'll spell the chord. It's G, B, D, G, B, G. In terms of intervals, from the root, we have the root, B is the third, D is the fifth, G is the root again, B is the third, G is the root. If you want to change your fingers this way, sometimes it's a little easier, because then you have the freedom of these two. This is a suspension. It's called a suspension. I'm adding, the G is becoming an E, sorry, the D is becoming an E, which is a sixth from the root, and I'm adding the C, which is a fourth. So I'm taking the third and putting a fourth. Fourth to 3, or rather 4 to 3 is a suspension. And so is the 6 to the 5. Another way to play the G, which is this is actually how I play the G. I mute the A string. I don't play the third. And this gives it more of a power chord sound, more of a chord that you would play in an electric guitar because there's no thirds. G, this is muted, D, the fifth, G, the root, D, the fifth, G. So it's all root and fifth. Gives it that kind of sound. Okay. If you want to make G a minor chord, again, what are we doing? We're going to flat the third. Okay? Generally, when you're going to go up to this bar chord to play G minor. Okay, bar chord. What am I going to do? I'm going to flat the third. Here's the third right here. I'm going to take that off. So I go. So that F sharp is going to become, rather, the B is going to become a B flat, rather. B to B flat. So that's a G minor chord. Another way to play a G minor chord. So here's G. And all these partials are G minor chords. That's a G minor chord. 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 The chords in G major, again, great for songwriting, so that you know if you're in the key of G, you're playing G's and C's and D's, and you want to go to a different chord for a new section, you know to go to something like E minor or A minor. G is the 1 chord, A minor is the 2 chord, B minor is the 3 chord, C is the 4 chord, D is the 5 chord, E minor is the 6 chord, F sharp diminished is the 7 chord, and we go back to the 1 chord, G major.